Top of the morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with me on Up with India. Today is Friday, November 13th, 2020, and here's your morning update. An evening with a music giant presented by the Wilmington Public Library took place in the first state's major city last night, Thursday, November 12th. Let's take a look.
Death with the record, thinking of a master plan. Cause ain't nothing but sweat inside my hands.
Most people remember him from the golden age hip-hop duo Eric B. and Rakim. William Michael Griffith Jr., born January 28, 1968, better known by his stage name Rakim, is widely regarded as one of the most influential and most skilled MCs of all time. In fact, in 2012, the Source magazine ranked him #1 on the top 50 lyricists of all time. He grew up in Wyandanch, New York on Long Island and began writing rhymes at the age of 7. Just about 35 years ago, Rakim Allah, then known by his stage name Kid Wizard, began his career in the music industry in 1985. After being introduced to local DJ Eric B, he began writing lyrics to Eric's instrumentals and honed in on his talent to later become a lyrical genius. On his spiritual journey, he later would adopt another name change from Kid Wizard to Rakim Allah. As of December 1987, his rap album Paid in Full sold over 1 million copies. MTV ranked it at #1 in the greatest hip-hop albums of all time, stating it raised the standard of hip-hop, both sonically and poetically, and described it as captivating, profound, innovative, and instantly influential. A similar critique of his new book that he published in 2019, Sweat the Technique, Revelations on Creativity from the Lyrical Genius.
I think these are the kind of steps that I deal with, not only as an artist, but in my everyday life, you know what I mean? And this is the things and the principles that I think that we need to, just be in tune with, what's going on. And as far as, trying to influence a younger artist, I think that's some of the things that they need to know counts when you're trying to, incorporate your soul in music, trying to write your life down in between the lines or putting your heart out. I think knowing, where it comes from before that is important.
Despite his low profile and extremely laid-back demeanor, his raw talent keeps him in the public eye as he evolves to climb new charts.
As time went on, me and my manager, we kept talking about it. And then I just kind of came up with a way that I felt it'll be interesting if we did a book that more like, I guess, gave people a little influence and a little food for thought and information. I thought that'd be a little more, interesting than, just telling you about my life story, man. And we did a pretty good job with it, and it came out pretty good.
The Wilmington Library presented an intimate evening with the author, who inspired a generation of Gen Xers and even millennials, who he shared insight with into the ebb and flow of key career moments that they could remember and moments left untold. When asked during a private interview backstage if fans can expect a versus battle between Rakim and longtime peer Big Daddy Kane, he said it's a conversation that is definitely in the works. 5-year-old woman was charged with murder in connection to a late October stabbing that killed another 25-year-old woman in Wilmington, city authorities said Thursday. According to Wilmington police, Elijah Wilson stabbed Tierra Herring just before midnight on October 29, 2020 in the 200 block of West 4th Street in the city's Quaker Hill section. According to Delaware Online, Tierra Herring was among a handful of people huddled near a Wilmington apartment stairwell late last month watching 2 women fight. During a pause in the fight, Herring's family said someone stabbed the 25-year-old mother of 3, sending her running out of the Quaker Village apartments where she collapsed near 5th and Tatnall Streets. Police have said that Herring was taken to a hospital where she was pronounced dead. She leaves behind 3 children ages 9, 6, and her youngest, who will turn 5 this weekend. Wilson was taken into custody by U.S. Marshals on Wednesday, November 11th, 2020, and charged with first-degree murder and possession of a deadly weapon during commission of a felony. She was committed to the Dolores J. Baylor Women's Correctional Institution in lieu of $1.5 million cash-only bond. According to Delaware Online, a justice of the peace court's judge, whose name was redacted from court documents, declined to release information as to why Wilson was being charged with the crime. The unnamed judge rubber-stamped Wilmington police request to keep the information from the public, claiming releasing such information could adversely affect the ongoing investigation. In more news, according to CBS, a top advisor to President-elect Joe Biden floated the possibility of shutting down the U.S. economy for several weeks to help contain the coronavirus. Dr. Michael Osterholm, an infectious disease specialist and a member of Mr. Biden's recently appointed COVID-19 advisory team, spoke with Yahoo Finance on Wednesday about measures the U.S. could take to curtail the virus spread. One option, he said, is worth considering: imposing a 4 to 6 week shutdown of the country while providing workers, small business owners, and local governments with hundreds of billions in financial aid to tide them over. Osterholm believes a 4 to 6 week lockdown could drive the numbers down like they did in Asia, like they did in New Zealand and Australia. According to CBS, since March, Congress has provided $659 billion in emergency loans to small businesses and $268 billion for enhanced unemployment benefits for workers. The small business assistance was quickly exhausted, and unemployment aid is set to run out in December. Members of Congress from both parties have expressed openness to another round of stimulus spending to prop up the economic recovery, but the two sides remain far apart on how much they are willing to spend. Dr. Osterholm is one of several public health experts sounding the alarm as the virus surges across the U.S. New daily cases of COVID-19 continue to break records, and 45 U.S. states have rising case counts. On Wednesday, 144,000 people tested positive for the virus, and 3,300 were hospitalized, according to the COVID tracking. In more news, a story that has garnered national attention. According to KLFY Neil Ziering, people in Louisiana communities are demanding an arrest after the homicide of a 15-year-old boy. The body of Quawan Bobby Charles was found last Tuesday in a sugarcane field by Iberia Parish Deputies 4 days after he was reported missing to Baldwin police. Hundreds were outraged that there hasn't been arrest made yet for Quawan Charles' death. They came to the courthouse because it houses the Iberia Parish Sheriff's Office, which is on top of the investigation. Prosecutors came to put pressure on it. Activist groups are amplifying the rallying cry of the grieving family who lost their 15-year-old son, Quawan Charles. Quawan Charles was reported missing last Friday after being picked up without his parents' consent. According to the family, no Amber Alert was issued and they were not taken seriously, being told their son was probably at a football game. The Baldwin Police Department is investigating but says all procedures were followed. The family has repeatedly listed the names of the mother and son who they say took Quawan from his father's home. That's expected. Family has since packed up and left Laurierville, where the teen's body was found. District 12 Iberia Parish Councilwoman Lady Brown attended the rally, promised a thorough investigation will be done. The family asked for $15,000 online a few days ago for an independent autopsy to be performed before Quawan's funeral. As of Wednesday night, almost 7,000 people have donated over $100,000. What are your thoughts on today's news? Don't forget to like and share on Facebook and Instagram at WITN22Will. Thank you so much for watching Up with India. For more news, updates, and information, follow us on social media at WITN22Will.